Hey, you are back with the crew. No, I'm not live, but it's close. I'm recording this yesterday, your time, morning, if you will. Depending on where you live in the world, might be your time. Who knows? Today is one of those videos I really don't like making. I'm not a doomsday guy. I'm not saying that what we're going to face with this video is doomsday whatsoever. However, I do think that there's a lot going on in the scenes that we all know today. And more than ever, it's becoming clear that there's a lot of people calling other people out. And there's a lot of control being laid down. Just spit it out, Alan. There's a lot of bad players, a lot of bad actors. There's a lot of bad information out there, and there's a lot of things being concealed and withheld from you and I, from government agencies. That's really annoying to me. And when I dig into such things, it makes me like the system a whole lot less, if you will. So let's get on to it. This is what I would call a potentially very bad news for XRP. I know nobody wants to put this video out less than I do right now. I'm not trying to say that this is the end of XRP. I'm not even trying to correlate that that is even possible, because I don't believe it is. There's too many other countries that are already using it. There's too many great things that's happening. I'm just saying this is a competitor that is a clear and present danger in the United States. So let's put it that way. Okay. This is going to be kind of a long story, but I'm going to try and keep it tight here. Many years ago, there was a company, okay, a crypto created company that was kind of, it was mainstream, and it was very part of the banking system and part of the maybe not such great people. I don't know who, if you know who Blythe Masters is. She created a coin a long time ago called Salt. And Salt was a lending platform that I believe still exists. I think I even have some of those coins laying around somewhere. However, she's connected, and she's part of the, I'm going to call her the Davos group. Okay, let's just go with that. Okay. She had a bunch of technology in which she was working with a bunch of different banking, lending agencies. Well, I'm not just blaming her, because there was another guy by the name of Larry Summers, and there was a bunch of other big actors and players involved in this who put together this technology. And the technology is called Signet. Okay. Well, Signet originated its name from a couple of different ways, but the biggest way that it came to be created a bank in which has been in the news lately that we all know as Signature Bank. Signature Bank is something that I've been asking my friend, who's connected, if you will, to a group who was presented. This group, Goldman Sachs, talked about him before, was presented with some information, some technology a long time ago. I want to say 2018, okay? Maybe even 17. Could have been even earlier than that. I don't know. It's not important to the puzzle. That technology, okay, essentially creates a dollar, almost just like a stable coin. That technology is almost identical to what XRP does, in the sense that it creates a escrow or a liquidity pool in between two different currencies. Okay, almost the same transaction speeds, believe it or not, and many, many different similarities to XRP. This was given or presented to JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, from what I know, many, many years ago. It is incredible technology. It's not there's many other, in my opinion, there's no comparison to XRP's technology. I think is superior in many ways, but I can't get to the bottom of Signet because it's all wrapped up and tight and nobody can really give me anything on it. And a deep dive is almost impossible. Now it's gotten really impossible. So when I heard 2 weeks ago that Signature Bank was going under, I thought, well, why? Well, it's a crypto bank, Alan. Well, okay, end of headline. Well, that tells me something's going on. What the hell's going on? What's the matter with you people? That's all I get. It's just closing. Oh, it's a crypto bank and it's closing because, cryptos are bad and everything's bad in crypto and it's too volatile. It's too volatile. You just shouldn't buy any of that stuff and it's just terrible stuff. Every time I hear that, I'm like, okay, I got to get to the bottom of that. What's the matter? What are you people hiding? All right. So, JP Morgan, from what I understand, presented this technology to the Fed. The Federal Reserve got a hold of it. And according to, I'm getting information from this one side. I'm asking all these questions about Signature Bank. And then I listened to a friend speak. And he told me an amazing story in which I can't tell the entire story. I just can't. But let me just hum a few bars for you and then you'll get where I'm going with this. The Fed was given this technology a long time ago. Okay? Not long as in decades, but prior to 18. Okay? And they were given this through Signature Bank. The Feds sat on it. Whatever. We'll get back to you on that. Just like the S.E.C is doing with Ripple, just exactly how they operate. This is what they do. They break it down. They own it for themselves. They figure out how it hurts their system, how it helps their system, how they can manipulate with it. Is it the end-all, be-all? Let's hold it in our back pocket and figure it out and use it later if we deem it to be worthy in the future of man's finance. That's what they did with it. So they sat around and sat around and sat around. Well, as we know, contagion with banks, and it came across, and that whole FTX thing was the beginning of a dominoes that brought a bunch of people in politics and the government and the Fed and the two teams that I talk about, the two, in particular in the West, the two families, groups that are competing with each other are at each other's necks and they're exposing each other for what they are. Okay. One of these teams happens to be more linked to the Fed and the other one's more linked to the WEF, and I talked about that in the last video. Well, this Fed group really liked this SIG technology, and the main reason is because you can trade it, as we know with crypto, any hour of any day. Well, it was great. It is great technology. I can't figure out more than that about it at this point. They kept it in their back pocket, which is what they always do. They didn't rule on it. They didn't rule against it. They didn't say any of that stuff. But what did they do? And I looked this up, and it is so obvious now. It just makes so much sense. The more I started looking, well, why did Signature Bank fail? They didn't have all this outstanding debt. They didn't have this is like they just got thrown in with the rest of the pile. Well, what did the Fed do? The Fed obtained them, essentially. The Fed, right, created a little bank called Bridge, okay? Odd the way the government uses all these little tricky little names, you know. Oh, the Bridge Bank. Signature Bank. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it makes sense. The Bridge Bank. Really? I know it's been around a while, but okay. So the Bridge Bank gets together with a little group that's been in the news lately, as you might know. Group's called FDIC. Sound familiar to you? So the FDIC gets together, creates a little bridge, gets together with, they didn't create the Bridge Bank, but you know where I'm going with that. So they have Bridge Bank buy the assets, depleted assets of Signature Bank, but obtain all of the technology and all the technology rights, in particular all the crypto technology that was held with Signature Bank. Yet telling the public and everybody in the media, crypto bad. Get out of crypto. Crypto exchanges are corrupt. Look at FTX. Look at the whole thing. So they're slinging stuff against the wall while they're purchasing it, creating it, obtaining it, legalizing it, owning it, like I've been telling you for a year on this channel. In the background, they're doing a lot with crypto. They're owning crypto. These brokerages are buying crypto. They're shutting off, as we know, the avenues and the on-ramps and off-ramps for you and I to get on and off of this product, because they want to own the actual asset and sell you a derivative of it. That's their whole plan. That's where this whole thing is going. I've heard it told to me by numerous people at different levels, and everybody believes it's the same thing. All right, now, get back to what that means. Well, it means a couple of things. It means that this is their operating structure. This is how they're probably going to distribute CBDCs. I'm guessing. I'm allowed to guess. My show, my guess. Get your own show, do your own guessing. But think about it, okay? 24-hour trading network, great technology, reproduces a dollar. It is essentially as liquid. It's an operating market that's been marketing. I don't know. From what I can tell, Signet's been running for quite some time flawlessly, okay, and trading a lot. It's slowed down since the bank issue, but it was up and running and never had a glitch. So that's obviously where they're headed. That's their new avenue. And now it all sort of makes sense. This is where the bad part, if you're a fan of Ripple or XRP, comes into this video. This is not good news. Because that's exactly what I was hoping or was thinking out loud many times on this channel, that XRP would be that avenue in which they would run those tracks on. They would run their escrow of this liquidity market, okay, in between the currencies or even CBDCs on that track, is what I was thinking and hoping. I'm not ruling that out at this point. I'm clearly speculating on a lot of what I'm telling you right now. I don't know definitively anything. I'm just putting a lot of pieces to the puzzle together for you and I. Would I sell an XRP tomorrow? Absolutely not. If it went to $10 tomorrow, would I sell my... No, I absolutely would not do that. I am not advising anybody to buy or sell anything on this channel. I'm just telling you that it has applications many years in the future. For my investments, I'm still believing in that coin and that technology. I think it will be one of the dominating factors in the ISO 222. I know that to be true. I think this other Signet is going to be what they're going to try and build something on, because you and I know the feds are horrible at building their own technology and their own operating system. They've never been good at it. They might be at some top secret level, but even that seems to be falling on its face these days. And I don't really believe that to be true. Okay. So what does this mean in the long run? This means they already have an operating system. This means that they obtained it. This means that they intentionally obtained it. This means that they intentionally like cryptos and they like cryptocurrency technology. Why? I'm going to answer that in 1 second. I'm freezing in this trailer here, guys. I'm just freezing. Sorry about the gulping. That's what old guys do. You know, the gizzard thing and all that. Yeah. So, okay, where are they going with this? I heard this in an interview, and it's just a couple of lines this guy said, and man, it just clicked this morning. I heard a couple of different interviews, and I was like, oh my God, I got to piece that together with this, and it just makes sense. All right. Stop and think about this. What they are worried about with cryptocurrencies, more than anything else, I know you think that they're worried about you becoming wealthy. That's not their concern. Their concern is not the fact that everybody in the world one day is going to use cryptocurrencies. That's not their concern. They're not concerned with the fact that it's going to slow down, shut down their banking system. They're not concerned about that either. They're not. Anybody that tells you that that's their problem with crypto, or that it's going to create sound money, those are not their problem. That is not at all their problem. Okay, any of those. That's not. What their problem is they don't want you taking all of their money, or the value of all of their money, and going anywhere you please with it. That's why banks and the controlling members at the top of these global banks don't like cryptocurrencies, because it allows people to move around freely and go to other places and transact outside of the borders in which the country in which you are taxed in, and that you create future value and revenue for them in. I know maybe that's new to you, but look what China's been doing to their people forever. They don't want to see you leave with their money. Why in particular in America? Because America doesn't pay you any money for your money in the bank. They've gotten away with for decades. They don't give you a penny for keeping your money in the bank. What was the first thing Russia did when SWIFT put all the sanctions on Russia, on the Russian ruble? Well, if you invest your money in a Russian bank and invest them in rubles, we'll give you 30% interest on your money. When a country is collapsing and falling apart, okay, many, upcoming and new governments, that's exactly what they do to bring interest and revenue and liquidity into their countries. They give a higher interest rate. Happens all the time. Argentina's going through it right now. You know the countries, the players. That's why Mexico always offers a higher interest rate on deposits in their bank than the U.S., because they have to compete. That's their biggest concern. And they're trying to shut all those avenues off on you and I. Well, systems like ISO and XRP and many others, in particular Bitcoin, in my opinion, allow you to go anywhere in the world and take your billions of dollars with you. And, they don't like that. They don't want that to occur. They like to keep control. They created all these digits. They want to prosper from the taxation of all these digits. And they want you to continue to spend these digits inside their countries. Okay? That's how they operate. That's how they thrive. That's how they pay for their politicians. That's how they pay for their programs. That's how they pay for everything, is by you staying home, buying a boat, buying a plane, buying a car, buying a house. That's how they keep a revenue stream coming into their countries. That's their biggest concern with crypto. So, I don't want to make this too long of a video, because if I get into why I don't believe CBDCs will succeed, then this will be a very long video. I've made a couple of those in the past. I just really kind of wanted this to be something, I'm telling you what I'm working on right now, and it's crazy what I'm finding, that now all of a sudden, essentially the FDIC, stop and think about that, owns technology, crypto technology, which is a distributing network which can duplicate the digits of money. Yeah. So the federal government already has their platform in which they could distribute those tokens to you and I, to everywhere in the world. And it's operating, and it works really well, from what I understand. Well, more on that in the future. I just wanted to give you guys an update. Don't panic. ISO 222 is going to succeed. It is succeeding. I will tell you that we have competition. I really thought in the past our biggest competition was going to be from Circle and USDC coin. I still believe that's a big issue, but I don't think they're the big player anymore that they once were. And wait a minute, guys. Doesn't it make a lot of sense that all of a sudden now it makes a lot of sense that the government's stalling XRP. They're in stall mode. What did they do to obtain Signet? They stalled. Stall tactics, because they're getting everything in the back end all lined up. Anyway, it made sense to me. I hope it did for you. Don't panic. We're going to thrive and survive. And with that, I am out. You know, I love the rain. I do. I just can't believe that it rains every day for months and months. And every day I walk out and I say, I gotta believe it. I'm looking right at it. My head's wet. Another day, my head is wet. Can't believe it. I'll build me an ark.